Good morning, class of 2028. Hey. Good morning, colleagues, staff, Provost Shea, President Gonzalez, and members of the community. Thank you for the honor of allowing me to speak this morning. This is my 18th year in academia as a doctoral student, researcher, teacher, and I've loved working on a college campus because of the atmosphere at this time of the year. There is such an incredible energy and excitement about new beginnings and just endless possibilities in the future. I'm a professor in the School of Business and Technology, and I teach economics. So when I say economics, how many of you think of money? What about business? Profit, maybe? Yeah. Yes, well, you do learn about those topics, but in the most fundamental sense, economics is much broader than money or business or profits, supply, demand. What is it then? Economics at its core is the study of choices. Choices that individuals and societies make in a world where we have finite resources, like limited time, limited money. Economists ask what kinds of decisions will maximize a person's satisfaction or a business's profits given these constraints they face. Or simply put, we make choices because we can't have everything. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, choices. I'd like to offer a bit of insight from economics that may help you choose more wisely. I'm going to lean into behavioral economics. It's a field that blends psychology and economics, and to understand how people make choices. It reveals that we are not always these rational beings. We have lots of cognitive biases and mental shortcuts that affect our decision making, and it usually leads us to outcomes that we don't want. In particular, there are 3 cognitive biases I want to caution you against as you make choices over the next 4 years and beyond. These 3 biases are pessimism bias, present bias, and possession bias. Before I give you my first piece of advice, here is a little experiment. Let's say I tell you I will flip a coin 10 times. And give you $10 every time it lands on heads. How many times do you think it'll land on heads? You can show me on your fingers. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I see a lot of 5s, great. That is what we should expect statistically. But turns out when researchers do this experiment over and over again, the average that comes out is about 3.9. This is pessimism. Pessimism bias is the human tendency to overestimate the likelihood of negative events, like, oh, I'll never win $10, while underestimating the likelihood of a positive event, like, I will win $10. Pessimism bias narrows our options and it limits our potential, and it keeps us from making the choices that align with our values and goals. So my first piece of advice, choose optimism. Challenge those negative thoughts. Practice gratitude by focusing on the positive aspects of your life. Set realistic goals that help you stay motivated and reduce that fear of failure. And remember, in the words of the Dalai Lama, optimism does not mean being blind to the actual reality of a situation. It just means maintaining a positive spirit to continue to seek a solution to any given problem. The second piece of advice is one that I need to remind myself of every day. Don't fall for the present bias. Our brains tend to prefer smaller, immediate rewards over the larger, delayed ones. This present bias clouds your decision making because you have the impulse to choose instant gratification over accomplishing those long-term goals. You will encounter many situations where you face this trade-off. of a small immediate reward versus a larger reward, but it's farther away. For example, should you enjoy some video gaming right now, even though working on homework would help your grade and reduce your stress later? Here's some tips to help you tackle that present bias. Visualize your long-term goals. Create a clear picture of you in your desired future to motivate those present actions. Break down those large goals. Divide those overwhelming tasks into small, more manageable steps. Reward systems. Create a system of rewards along the way as you try to achieve those long-term goals. Choosing to resist that immediate gratification for that bigger, better outcome in the future will benefit you for a lifetime because it applies not only to the choices around your academics, but also to those decisions around personal finance, like saving, healthy lifestyle choices, and relationships. My final piece of advice, the third P, is to reject the possession bias. The possession bias is also known as the endowment effect. It is this psychological phenomenon where people tend to overvalue what belongs to them, like possessions they already own, even if they wouldn't pay that much to get those in the first place. You know that auto-renew subscription you never use, but you haven't canceled yet? That's a small example of this kind of bias at play. Humans have a preference for the status quo and the tendency to stick with just the default alternative, even if there might be better alternatives available. So my advice is embrace change and get out of your comfort zone. If sports have always been your hobby, explore something new. If music is your main pastime, go to a Curry baseball game. If you've never traveled, go study abroad during your junior year. If you were never interested in getting to know a teacher, go to your professor's office hours. Keep challenging the status quo. The status quo is comfortable. It's the familiar, the path of least resistance. It's the easy option, the one that requires the least effort. But it's also the one that stifles innovation and creativity and progress. The world is filled with problems that remain unsolved, injustices that persist, and opportunities that remain untapped. We need individuals who are willing to challenge and question the status quo, brave enough to challenge the conventional wisdom, and who are determined to create a better future. Over the next 4 years, you will encounter countless choices. Some will be easy, others will be daunting. But remember, each one is an opportunity. It's a chance to shape our lives, our careers, and even the world around us. And, very importantly, you are not alone as you make these choices. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to approach a professor. All of the faculty here share in the college's vision to support and nurture you on your path to graduate. So, congratulations, class of 2028. Choose wisely, and let's create a future that we can all be proud of. Thank you.